Hello again. Yeah, I thought I'd do a video because some time ago I mentioned I was on a lookout for a pair of stand mounting speakers. For quite a while, I've been using EPOS ES14 speakers and I've been swapping them out with my Riga RX3s. The EPOS ES14's fantastic speaker, and it's still, I mean, for speakers that were designed like many years ago, they're still many people's favorites today. But one of mine developed a, a fault in the driver, and I've yet to get it fixed. I did fix it myself once, something I'll be looking into. But in the meantime, I thought, as I like to swap my speakers every now and then and some other bits of equipment in my system, I thought, oh wow, I had a bit of disposable income at the time, and I thought I'd look out for a set of uh, of speakers that I could use on occasions when I don't want to use my main speakers, my Riga RX3s. So yeah, I was really looking for the criteria around it in terms of budget. I didn't want to spend anything more than £350. I didn't. I wanted them to be stand mounts. And the other thing was I didn't want speakers that were too bright. I've got used to the nice sort of natural sounding treble of my RX3s, and I wanted them to provide a decent amount of bass, and that's very difficult, obviously, for a stand mounting speaker. So I did a lot of research and looking, and I don't really read too much into measurements, but I think they are important when you're on a lookout for some kind of different speaker, especially, I think, and components. But yeah, I sort of narrowed it down to a few different models, and then something came up which I thought at the right price. I thought, yeah, this is probably going to be the best I could probably get for that money, and I'll just switch the camera around now, and I'll show you what I've got. There we go. Yeah, so those are a pair of reference 3A Dulcet speakers, and I've been using them and swapping them in and out of my system for the past few weeks, and I'm really pleased with them. I currently swapped them out for my Riga RX3s that you see here. And I've also had to move my room around because I'm working from home at the moment. I've found that I've had to sort of rejig my room a little bit and move my speakers around. They're normally against the wall on the right, but it's been a great exercise for me getting another pair of speakers in. It's made me understand then the qualities and sometimes the limitations of what I've got and what I've been using, and to really tweak the sort of positioning of my Riga RX3s. And I might do another video on it, but I'm really enjoying the RX3s and the position that they're in at the moment. But as this video is mainly about the reference 3As, I'll just do a quick sort of like video just to show them. They're superbly finished speakers. They really are. Now, do have a sloping front baffle, which is quite... my understanding, it's quite popular with their design of speakers. They are fantastically finished speakers, really are. So yeah, what we have here, just to go over some of the finer characteristics of the actual speaker then, and interestingly, what I notice is that these speakers are finished in a walnut finish. Now they got the slope front baffles there. Now there's no conventional crossover with these speakers. So basically, the main driver, which is a 4-inch driver you see there, with a big phase plug in the middle. Now that's driven directly from the amplifier. Now, I really now when I look at my EPOS ES 14s, I believe that they have a similar approach to being driven that way as well, which is quite interesting for me to find that out. The tweeter is a 25mm soft dome tweeter. Now you've got the big phase plug in the middle. Again, similar to the EPOS ES14s I had, which had the big phase plug coming out of the middle there. Now the measurements on these, now the sensitivity is 88 dB, which is quite sensitive, so they should be reasonably easy to drive. What I am finding is that they do need a little bit more power to come on song in my system. I'm using a Obelisk Mark II amplifier. Now I'm noticing with my Riga RX3s, I generally don't go above 10 o'clock. So just below nearly 10.2 on my RX3s, and that's enough power to drive them effortlessly. These more pushing towards like almost just after 10.2, coming up to 5.2 then on the actual dial on my amplifier. Now they weigh, surprisingly, they quite a heavy speaker. You know that the build quality is something that really stood out for me. I mean, in terms of the finish and the build quality and the weight behind this each speaker, I think they're around about £15, or I read up on them anyway. But I'm overall really impressed with it. And what I've noticed so far, and I'd probably need to do a little bit more, go into a little bit more detail, and with my comparisons, I've compared a number of records and CDs so far. What's stood out for me is the amount of bass that these speakers produce. Now they are rated, the frequency response rating is 48 hertz to 20 hertz. So the measurements indicate that these speakers would be able to achieve, for a stand mount speaker, a reasonably low bass response. So and surprising really when I'm listening to music and some stuff which has got really good deep bass, and I've got a few sort of like CDs and records that I use to try and really gauge the bass performance with my own ears, and I'm really astonished by the amount of bass this speaker produces for its size. That's certainly one of the things that was very noticeable early on. The speakers and the sound they produce, it seems to be a lot bigger than what you would expect from a small speaker. Now I do have them, when I do position them, I position them in this particular setup in a similar position as my Riga RX3, so they are some distance from the wall. Now I did try them a lot closer to the wall, on the side wall there, and as closer they went to the wall, the bigger sort of the bass sound was, but I felt I was losing a little bit of the sort of the image then of the soundstage, because these have that ability, like a lot of really good stand mount speakers have, of sort of like disappearing then in the soundstage. So when I'm sitting here and I've got that soundstage in front of me, it's to me that's really important. So it's what's going on sort of between the speakers, beyond the plane of the speakers, and the depth of the speakers sort of behind and in front. And for me that's a really important quality to try and get right, and I'm achieving that with these speakers, with them a little bit away from the wall, and I'm finding then as well that it sounds a little bit more natural as well. The sort of the high frequencies are very sort of natural sounding. I'd say a little bit more extended than my RX3s I'm finding, but not harsh in any way, not bright in any way, and certainly not forward in any way, overly forward. They are dynamic and produce a real good punchy sound, which I really like. So yeah, do you know what I'll do? I'll just finish off the video. Oh, I'll just show the quality of these sort of like connectors at the back as well, just for anyone that's interested there. There you go. Look at the build quality of these speakers. It's rear ported as well, which is something that is important to mention. But I'm not finding at all, especially the speakers a little bit more forward into the room. These speakers, yeah, they don't, you don't really hear that port at all chuffing away and producing like a bass overhang, which is something I really wouldn't like. These speakers sound really nice, and I'm really pleased, and just I certainly had them well within budget. So it goes to show as well that there's quality components to be had out there, and you don't necessarily have to go over budget in order to get something that's going to be really good. So I had them for under the £350 that I was looking to buy them for. So yeah, so I'm pleased. So what I'm going to do, spend a bit of time now comparing these speakers with my Riga RX3s and enjoy listening to them, and that's the important thing, isn't it? But in the meantime, yeah, hope everybody's doing well, and I will be doing some more videos quite soon, and shall be looking forward to spending some time with these. Thanks again. Bye bye.